Hey guys, my name is Jewel Cox, the host of The Pulse with Jewel, and today I'm here with Shani Williams, a biomedical engineer. Hey Shani, can you tell me a little bit about yourself and your current field of work?
Hi, Joel. Yes, and thank you for allowing me to be a guest on your YouTube channel. So I recently graduated from Santa Clara University last year in 2020 with a BS in Biomedical Engineering, and currently I'm working at a contracting manufacturing company within the biomedical engineering sector.
Oh, that's awesome. So, what kind of steps did you take in college to get to where you are now?
So in college, I was able to, of course, take the classes to get my degree, and I also ensured that I participated in other extracurricular activities, such as being an EMT and getting my certification as an EMT. And not only that, I was able to work in the lab as a lab technician as well. So those, or primarily those two jobs, I really wanted to have on my resume to show that I am a well-rounded person. I did take my time out to actually get work experience as well as learn the different areas within the medical industry. And not only that, I also ensured that I was able to have other outlets for myself as well. For example, just playing sports in college, like basketball, and joining a club sports team as well.
All right. I love that, focusing on holistic development and making sure
Yes,
you're
yes.
well-rounded everywhere. So, I heard that you were on the pre-med track for a little bit. So, what
Mhm.
inspired you to switch gears to focus on bioengineering?
Mhm. Yeah, so when I was on the pre-med track, I initially thought that I wanted to eventually become a doctor. However, after, like I mentioned before, after working as an EMT, I decided that the medical field just was not for me. So I decided, okay, well, maybe if it's not the pre-med track, then maybe I could try another track or concentration that my school offers underneath the biomedical engineering degree program. So not only did my school offer pre-med or the pre-med concentration, but they also offered biomolecular and the medical device track as well. So I decided to go to biomolecular, but I didn't really like that as well. I wasn't really interested in taking courses that'll allow me to, for example, one day make pharmaceutical therapeutics. So I decided, okay, I think I'm more so interested in medical devices, and that's eventually what I ended up doing was actually declaring my concentration in medical devices.
Yeah, that's awesome that you were able to, take advantage of those resources that you
Mhm.
have and find what really works for you. And I also want to ask
Mhm.
you, what advice do you have for other students who are thinking of changing their career focus?
Yeah, good question. I would say definitely don't hesitate in trying out different courses or activities or even jobs or internships while you're in college, because I feel like it's definitely important to eventually find something that you definitely have fun and that you have passion uh, towards like working on in a job. But they definitely seek out those opportunities for you to learn more about what that career that you might want to do might be about.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's really important to make sure that you're not locking yourself into one idea when you
Mm-hmm.
can try out so many things throughout life. And I also want to
Mm-hmm.
ask, how did Santa Clara University shape you into who you are now?
Mm-hmm. Santa Clara University shaped me into an engineer that not only focuses on the advancement of myself and making sure, for example, that professionally and financially that I'm okay, but also uh, this school or Santa Clara University taught me to also think about others who you could help as well. And I think that's very important because one thing that you want to make sure as you go through life is that not only do you want to like help yourself, but provide a positive impact on the world as well as the people around you.
Yes, that's, so inspirational, making sure that you're
Mm-hmm.
not only doing what you need to do to help yourself, but to help your community.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of ties back
Exactly.
into your, what you said earlier about holistic development. So, thank you a
Mm-hmm.
lot. What has been your favorite research project?
Mm-hmm. My favorite research project, I've done a few. Thankfully, I was given the opportunities to do that, but my favorite research project was actually working on the wearables, on the microfluidic wearables. I think this was during my junior year of school. But so what that research entailed was I was, for the most part, creating a study to test how reactive that wearable was. And the purpose of the wearable was to actually place it on any part of your body to be able to track movement. And this type of technology would be useful for patients that are in rehabilitation programs to try and gain back their strength and movement. For example, patients like those who have suffered from a stroke, or maybe even an athlete who possibly tore their hamstring. So I really like working on this research project because I was able to, one, create my own study, which was trying to see how well this wearable reacted to the different stresses and strains that your body placed on the wearable. And also I knew that this technology would be most helpful for people that I know, and also for myself too, since I was an athlete at the time in college.
Right. I haven't heard too much about wearables, so I'm glad you showed us a little bit about your expertise and how that helped you get to where you are now. In terms of your career goals and everything, did you choose STEM for the financial or job prospects, or was your decision based on your passions?
Good question. It was a little bit of both. Primarily, it was for financial, or for the financial aspect, as well as job security, but also it was the fact that, I also just wanted to create technology that directly impacts people and their well-being, and biomedical engineering allows you to do that compared to possibly other engineering disciplines. So I really appreciated that aspect of my field. So that's why I decided to go with this degree that I now have.
It's nice to hear that, just making sure that what you're doing is having an impact on people throughout society. And that's very inspirational. And I love what you do. So thanks for sharing. And can you describe your position at your current medical manufacturing company?
Yeah, so my position, I currently work in the quality department of my company, and specifically the production line. So what I do there, and really, I would say I do wear many hats, because it is a busy environment, especially when you are working on a production line, no matter what position you have. But for my position, I am responsible for managing and maintaining the quality systems on my line. And what that means is, for the most part, I am ensuring that the operators that are building the products, they follow the correct procedures. And then if there's anything that goes wrong on the line, I'm responsible for investigating and figuring out how can we not allow that to happen again. I'm also responsible for talking to our customers to see how we could better improve the products that we make as well.
That's great. There's so many different aspects of your job. So you'll spend the rest of your life, there's always something new to do, but you're giving us a very good look into all the different parts of your job. And I also want to ask, what is your typical workday like? I know you touched upon it, but are there any specific things you want to emphasize?
Yeah. So like I said, it is always a fast environment and changing environment. So sometimes there are things that unexpectedly happens, but I would say day to day, usually the first thing that I do when I get there at my job is to have a meeting with the management at my site. And that's when we, for the most part, walk around each production line, which each production line specializes in certain types of products. And we talk about how well we meet our cost goals, our production goals, our quality goals day by day. And then if not that, then I'm probably doing some data analysis on how to improve the production capabilities of making the parts on the production line.
It's good to hear that, so I can kind of take notes before I, decide on what careers I want to look into, as well as my audience. I also want to ask you, now that you have some experience in the field, what is the best part about your job, and are there any drawbacks?
Yeah, so about my job, the most or the best part about it, and really, if you can allow me to say two things that I most like about my job. So the first one is just learning about the different processes that go behind making these parts. I really enjoy learning about those, and also learning how to optimize, learning how to make those processes better for us to create better or parts that have better quality. And the second thing that I like most about my job is just being able to learn the different positions that make up a company, and specifically a manufacturing company, because especially coming out of college, sometimes, and really for a lot of people, you just don't know every single career and position out there. So me just being able to learn about, like, for example, like the positions in the supply department and how that relates to quality, and for example, like how quality works with research and development, just learning about all of those departments is really insightful for me, and it will help me, I guess, set my goals in the future, which I really appreciate that. Really, there's no drawbacks. If I do see something that might or something that makes me uncomfortable at work, it's more of a learning lesson, and I take my learning lessons as positive opportunities for me to grow and learn.
I love that outlook, just taking everything that comes your way, whether it's positive or negative, and using that to better yourself and learn more about your field. That's definitely a good character trait to have. And when it comes to challenges, I also want to ask, how has COVID changed your experience, if it has at all?
Yes. So COVID, luckily I've been blessed, and really COVID hasn't really changed my experience, because coming out of college last summer, I was able to go right into my internship. And my internship was actually at the company that I'm working at now, but I was working in the research development department. And then right after I was able to get that internship, I was able to, for the most part, ask my boss, who was well connected there at the company, to see if I could get in the position that I am in now. And so far it went so good, so I was able to get that position. So
I love that.
So to answer your question, no, COVID has not affected me, but I'm definitely thankful that I've gotten this far. So yeah.
And a different topic I kind of want to shift. So has being Black impacted your experiences and interactions in your field?
So far, I can say no, it has not impacted me. For example, I haven't had any direct interactions from people that were racist per se. However, I would want to point out that sometimes with African American just students and professionals, there's this thing called imposter syndrome that we may have, and that for the most part, an idea that involves you feeling that you don't belong there, because if you are there, you might be there just based off of luck. But really, if people around you, like students or professionals, do certain things to make you have that syndrome, you should tell yourself that, hey, that's not right, because if I didn't work my butt off, or if I didn't study hard enough, if I didn't have that drive, then I wouldn't be here. And just remind yourself that, hey, because of that, I deserve to be there as much as they do. So that's just a little advice.
Yes, thank you so much. We need to have confidence, and imposter syndrome, it even affects me sometimes, and I haven't even gotten to college or my career yet. So I'm glad to hear that you have that confidence and you're able to, get through that despite being underrepresented in your field. I know you touched upon it a little bit before, but I want to ask, do you have any other tips for young women of color looking to pursue biomedical engineering?
Yeah, I mean, you just need to continue to dream and have goals. And like I said before about that syndrome, just continue to be yourself. Just continue to be driven, have that motivation, because there's so many people like coming behind you who are definitely looking up to you as well. So you definitely need to be a positive role model and be a role model in the fact that you could kind of like tell them through your actions that, hey, this is possible if you do this X, Y, and Z. So I would say definitely have that mentality.
Right, and you're doing exactly that by being here today. My audience is going to love this, and I know you're inspiring me and so many other young women of color to pursue their dreams and step into fields where we're not expected so we can break those barriers. And that's our last question.
Well, thank you again for having me, and please invite me if you need any more guests or need more information. I'm happy to help you and give information to your members as well.
Thank you so much for coming on my show today. This is very helpful information. It's helped me see if I'm interested in biomedical engineering. It'll also help my audience. And everything was great. Thank you so much. Bye, guys.